hello, and welcome back, Royalty Talk Podcast family. It is so great to have you back with us today. And it is so great to have my guest on today, who is not just a guest, but she is family. Welcome, welcome,
Hey,
Jasmine.
hey, hey, how you doing?
We're doing good. We're doing good. Right after the holidays, we stuffed and ready to go.
Sure.
So, Jasmine, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and what brought you here to the United States.
Okay, I'm Jasmine Pickford, 34 years old, mother of five. What brought me in America? The American dream. I'm a dreamer.
Mm,
Opportunity. America, since growing up, they always tell us that is the country of opportunity. And as a dreamer, I always dream big. Big house, big car, big family, big everything.
okay. Well, I understand that. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with dreaming big. And because I know you and your family, let's dig in just a tad bit deeper on your mother of five. So, with me, I am a bonus mom to two girls, and my husband and I have one together, and then I brought in two as well. So for us, that's the way we do. We do. I have, to explain that these are my stepdaughters, and I don't say step out of the fact that I do not love them or love them any less than my children that I birthed, but that is how all of us decided to co-parent and do this together when he and I became a union. Um, for you guys and your culture, tell us a little bit on how would you handle or how have you handled that? Like you just said, mother of five, and have has there been any conflict or any conversations that have had to happen because of your union together and bringing in children into the marriage and then having being blessed with children together?
Well, coming from Africa, like we don't know about stepkids. Like when you marry a woman, you marry her with her kids, so they belong to you. So always say like, I have two kids and three other stepkids. It's something taboo in my country. You introduce all of them as your kids. They're your kids. You marry them. You marry your husband with all his kids. He marry you with all your kids, and you'll become like one family.
I love
That's it.
that.
You'll be one.
Absolutely love that.
hmm
Um, so also, we can definitely hear your accent. So tell us a little bit about your native language.
My native language. It's Fang. Fang. It's kind of
Oh,
funny.
really?
You hear me say something in Fang?
Yes.
Let's say, what you want to hear me say on my native language?
I don't know. Ah,
Like you pretty?
say that.
Okay. You pretty and I'm happy to be on your show. Wanambang.
That's
And
it.
yeah.
What?
Wo. Na.
Whoa, no,
Bang.
bo,
Bang. Bang.
bung,
Yeah.
when,
Wo.
bung, whoa,
Yes. Wanambang.
bung.
Yeah.
All this time I thought you spoke French.
Yeah,
That's
I
not
do.
your native language. So
No.
how many languages do you know?
Uh, French, little bit of Spanish, English, and yeah,
Wow.
language. And
So,
actually, my country is not just fun though. You see, like they say, they're from New York, they're from Chicago. Okay, I think in America you have like 54 states, right? And in my country is okay. Let's say as we go by county, maybe it's like nine county in the different of them. Let's say like in Pender County, you have North Pender, West Pender, South. We basically speak Fang, but the accent, like people from New York, you see the accent with the English. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's from those in Houston, Texas, so it's like that. And it's not just fun. We have, I think, 37 native language in my country.
Wow.
So yeah. So if you go to New York, those people from New York can speak, and I won't hear what they're saying. Unless they speak French, I will hear what they're saying. But if they speak the native language, I won't be able to hear what they're saying.
Wow. That's crazy. I
Yeah.
was learning Spanish by these two women. One was Dominican, the other one was Mexican one time. And they argued about, well, teach her this way, teach her that way, because they have like different ways of saying things too. And I was like, just tell me one way and I'll get the one and then I'll work on the other one later.
And you know
But-
something like Spanish, when I was trying to find where to go, I was, should I go to Spain? Should I go to America?
Mhm.
Because for us speaking French, it's more easy for us to speak Spanish than speaking English because like some word are common or some you just have to add at the end like la o or la e and you have your word in Spanish. But like I was like, nah, I'm going to America. I
Whoa. So I only speak a little bit of Spanish too. I don't speak. And I only know how to say Je m'appelle Tiffany. I don't know any.
me llamo, me llamo Tiffany.
Oh yeah, and then it was Je m'appelle. What is Je m'appelle? I'm doing
Yeah.
my French, my two
Yes.
years of French in high school dirty.
Je m'appelle Tiffany, yeah. Je m'appelle, that's in French. hmm
I don't know much more than that. So what languages do your children speak?
My daughter, she speak English. Both of them speak English. My daughter used to speak French a little bit, but you know, since TV, friends, school is
Hmm.
English, so now it's just English. But everything you say in French, she understand what you're saying.
Oh.
hmm My son, like every word that I say in French, he's scared. He think like I'm upset. So, but since here, since my mom here, it starts with a little bit bonjour, like hi, hi,
Hmm.
hi. So we getting there.
That's it. Just a
Mm-hmm.
little bit at a time. That's all you
Little
got to
bit.
do.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me about your best and worst experiences since you've been here in the United States.
My best experience meeting my husband,
Oh.
getting married to him. I swear it
Oh.
has been the best thing who happened to me here. It has been a big support to me. It has been present since day one that we met. So he has always been here, like caring husband, loving husband, like yeah, my husband,
Oh.
my husband.
That's sweet.
Yes.
And what about your worst experience since you've been here?
Hmm. My worst experience, let's say, is way back in Atlanta, Georgia. Like I think it was the year I have my daughter. I have my daughter on April, so it was like April Fool. Some kids prank us like with a gun on the bus, and it was my first time like to see a gun. So I was like, that's it. I come for the big dream, and this is how we end up. Yes, I freaked out like yeah, and then there was like April Fool. I was like, are you for real? I never see a gun in my entire life. That was the first time, and it was just a toy. But
They'd
since it
probably
was
go to
something,
jail for that now. Like you
yeah,
cannot do stuff like that now.
yes, my baby girl, she was so little. She was so little. We was right here like, damn, this is how we end up. Like, yeah, and then there was like April Fool.
That's
I was like,
scary. That is not an
that's
April
scary.
Fool's. That's scary.
That's scary.
I'd be scared today.
Mhm.
And probably telling him we never going back to Atlanta ever.
And you see, since I left Atlanta, I never been back. I never go back.
I wouldn't either.
No. Yeah.
So, since you've been here, have you experienced any prejudices like now in America, I feel like there is a lot of race talk, but aside from race, just someone who hears your accent, has that thrown or maybe caused anyone to, do you feel it caused anyone to feel to treat you differently?
Hmm. I would say few at work, or maybe when I take my kids to the hospital.
Hmm.
Some would just, you know, ask me to go to the next person because yes, because they will feel like they can't hear what I'm saying. Even I'm trying to speak like slowly. Like
Hmm.
me, I'm someone I already know because some people say that, you know, Jasmine has a strong accent. So when she talk, it's really hard to understand what she's saying. So me, sometimes I would be like, let's see if I have an appointment for my kids. I would start by saying to the lady or the man in front of me, like, okay, so my accent is strong, so I would trying to speak like slow so you can
Hmm.
understand what I'm saying. And in return, I want you to speak like a little bit slow for me so I can hear what you're saying. So basically that's what it is.
So you've learned how to basically give that as your introduction just to make sure
Yeah,
that
make sure that
you
okay,
a-
like
are
green
getting
light.
the communication back. Okay.
Hmm.
That's
That's
good.
that's my introduction, like for us to start the process. Yes. Hmm.
That's really good. So with culture playing a big role in African society, tell us how women are viewed and what role women normally play within your culture.
Mm. In my culture, women come sometime as second. Women come as second. You see, the man in my country is like the head of the house, so women always come like second. Maybe nowadays they're trying to incorporate women in the society, but women come in second. Like when I say second, she's the one to take care of the house, the kids,
Mm-hmm.
the you know. I mean, even she's educated, she always have to come home to take care of the house. So they always see her as a second. They always put the men in front.
So I know for us, it sounds very similar to how Christians view the men as the head of the household and the wife is submissive. However, though you are submissive, you are now they teach you. They didn't teach
And
us back in
and
the day
that,
that.
and that's something they teach you from the beginning. Like while growing up, like you have to be submissive to your husband. You have to do as he say. What he say, his word is the truth. You just have to go like that. Like what he say, that's what it is.
And I think that's why here in the US that it's transitioning
Mhm.
from submission meaning such a negative connotation towards that. So like a lot of women don't want to hear here in the USA, they do not want to hear like submit to your husband because it seems like
Mhm.
it's such a bad thing. Where now a lot of Christians are teaching, although you submit to him as the head, you're looked at as equal because you are his helpmeet. So you're
Mhm.
here as, and you mean just as much to the marriage as he does.
True. Mhm.
And I think that's why they teach that now because there have been so many different times where men have abused that authority that they have. And that's not the way it's intended to be.
Mhm.
So, um, with that being the way that things are, is there anything in your society that are or traditions that they have with girls and women or women like as they're growing up here in the United States now they have like period parties to kind of introduce girls to what it is to have your menstrual cycle, what to do, how to take care of yourself during those times. And when I was growing up, those things were not a part of what we did. There were barely any classes that talked about anything like that. Like once you got to high school, there was some educational classes on sex. I don't know what they talked about in there because I didn't get to take it. But um, besides that, I don't know of any other courses or anything like that. And I think that's why women have gone to having those because it's important to talk about those things. And sometimes every girl doesn't get that at home. Um, but for me, it was growing up, we didn't really talk about those things outside of the home. So if you didn't get it there, you just learned on your own. Is there anything now or anything that you have from your culture that they've done with girls to prepare them to become women?
Okay, so like you just gave an example, like a period party, like even like a sex, like a parent to talk about sex with the kids is something taboo. Like we learn from ourselves most of the time, but I do know that they prepare us to be a woman, a good wife to our husband. Like start teaching us how to cook from a young age. Yeah, and I know in my culture we have those little beads that
Mm-hmm.
they put around us to prepare us, as always, like when you go with your men and stuff like that. But for a parent to speak about sex with the kids is taboo, and I can say like it has an impact in my country because nowadays, even like to teach us how to calculate our period, they really don't even talk about stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That women find themselves pregnant at a young age, like because they don't know about it.
Mm-hmm.
They really don't know. I mean, it's just taboo in my country. They really don't talk about subject like that.
So the beads are kind of like waist trainers. I've seen other people talk about those same type of beads and they say that it's like spiritual.
Some are
Instead
spread.
of it being, so there are different ones. So there are
Yes.
some that it has this going on and then there are others that's got we
Some
just
I
trying to get
prepare.
ready for our man.
Yes. Some I prepare like some I made from your grandma. Like she may do some prayer on it, and then you will grow up with them with that. And yeah, it's to prepare you like when you're in the room with your husband and stuff like that.
So
To
is
take.
it kinky? Is kinky like you he what or it's just so you know how to
Yes.
flex?
Yeah. The flex, exactly. That's the word, the flex, yes.
Okay. Yeah. Well, they helping you some kind of way. You just don't know it.
Yeah.
So, can you say that for me growing up, because I grew up mostly in a Christian household, religion played a big part in every decision that my mom made
Hmm.
in regards to us. So I could say for me growing up, religion played a big part into the woman that I am today. Is there do in your culture, is there any family or ancestry or religious traditions for girls and women that help them understand their identity?
Can you rephrase that?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So there's a lot of, and I'll say this for me.
Hmm.
I I feel like I found my true self as an adult once I had my own relationship with God and figuring out who Tiffany was through all of that.
Hmm.
Um and religion, because I had that foundation to build on, it helped me.
Hmm.
Whereas maybe a lot of people don't have that. So there is, to me, a lot of identity crisis going on with a lot of not just girls, but boys, just not knowing who they are. For you guys in your culture, how do they help besides just preparing them to be a wife? How do they prepare them to be a woman, just a woman?
Like say, we found ourselves too. We found our true identity by ourselves too, by
You
growing up,
just kind of have to figure it out,
figure out.
just
Yeah.
like here.
Hmm.
That can be tough sometimes.
Mm,
Sometimes
yeah.
just figuring it out is a tough road. And I wish there was more. Um, in the
Hmm.
Bible, it talks a lot about like getting with your elders and learning from them. I wish there were more experiences that we have where we could sit with some elders to teach us some things that we
Hmm.
maybe we wouldn't. We might still decide to do things on our own, but maybe we wouldn't choose to do some of the things or go through some of the things we go through if we had someone to just kind of keep us under their wings a little bit.
Yeah. Hmm.
I wish.
Hmm.
Are there any cultural norms or gestures or things of etiquette like on TV? And I don't even know if this is a real thing, but on TV, you normally see like if you see a Japanese person, you bow to say hello. Is there anything similar from your culture? Um, any attire, things that they wear, um, that you would see or you can talk about for us?
Um, our dressing up, the boo boo, the big scarf, our jewelry, stuff like that. Yeah.
How do you wear the scarf? Is it normal, like here, just around your neck, or does it look more like covering your hair for like Muslims or things like that, where it's kind of, or some traditions of Christians, they believe that women should keep their hair covered and stuff like that. How's the scarf worn?
In my country, is something that you have to wear like a really like a fashionista, like a stylist. Like as soon as you put on your head, wherever you go, people have to turn back like, oh my god,
Ah!
like wow.
Okay. I
Yeah.
and I have never seen that
Oh,
ever. And
I used
speaking
to
of,
wear, I used to wear those. I used to have a lot in New York. I used to wear a lot in New York, but you know, New York, the transportation and stuff, people was all over the world like, hey, Mama Africa, Mama Africa. So I suffer some of them. So yeah.
because that's like a identity. I know exactly who you
Yes.
are because I see this. That's cool though.
Hmm. Like Mama. Mhm.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
So speaking of things that just kind of like identify who you are and where you're from, do you feel like the media shows African this the nation as a whole um in a good in the best light, or how do you feel that they show Africans? For me, growing up, a lot of times if there was anything about Africans, it was always something where it was like feed this community or feed that community, and every African you saw looked very impoverished. They looked very malnourished, where it was like all they were skin and bones. There were flies all around. They talked a lot about having things like HIV. So it was always, I feel like, negative. And then now, as an adult, I see that there's this show on Netflix about like famous, rich, and African and stuff. And it reminds me of the Housewives of Atlanta, but just all Africans, where there is a storyline and there's usually a lot of arguing and bickering and this and that. So it kind of sucks because it's still, in a way, even though they're rich and it's like, yay, they're rich and they're famous. So you finally see that Africans do have money, that they're still acting out.
Yeah. So about the way they saw us, first of all, they give the wrong image about Africa, like we're hungry,
Hmm.
you know, we poor, stuff like that. That's not true. Even in America, we still find like a poor people. We
Right.
find rich people. Yes, I remember like when I came here because I do hair part time.
Hmm.
Some people, like some client, will ask me like, Jasmine, how did you get to how did you get from Africa to America? Like, did you all drive? Did you swim? I always want to ask them like, did you swim to come here? And you know, I flew to come here,
Right.
and it's not something cheap. I spend money to get the ticket. So yes, we have money. Some like, okay, so are you guys dressing up? So they have the wrong image of
Mm-hmm.
Africa. We all have like you was talking right now about the housewife, they wearing Gucci. We have Gucci store, we have Chanel store, and like when you go to Gucci, is not less than 300. Like 300, that's the smallest wallet they have at the Gucci store. So yes, we have all that. We know, but as cursing people and stuff like that on TV, it's something we don't really do that, and I really don't know why those news show trying to picture us like that. No, Africa is like, if the men and women has an issue, an argument, is stay in the house. The people even
Mm-hmm.
next door are not aware about. So
Mm.
I think they're just trying to do like they're seeing on TV. Bad things are always the thing people like.
Right. You're right.
Yes, yes,
That's what
but
sells.
yes, but they
Mm-hmm.
really, really give like the wrong impression about African people. We're not poor. We find poor people everywhere. We
Right.
find people everywhere. So
And that's the same thing I said in a recent post when my husband and I went to Dominican Republic for our anniversary. Every country has a place that seems to show its poverty, and there's a need there. Um, but it's not all over, So it's like this is not the whole country. This is a part
that's
of it.
the part, yeah. And I say that like us, we in Bergen, North Carolina, in the country. Like
Hmm.
sometimes when I talk to some of my clients, I'm like, if I take a picture of Bergen and I show that to my friend back home and I say this is America, do you know what they would tell me? Jasmine, please tell us where you are. I know you're not in America, because all they show us from America is like a New York at night, because New York in daytime it's really ugly, and like Los Angeles, Beverly Hills. But if you show Burger, they will say, Jasmine, you're not in America. Please just tell us the truth. Where are you? So just say that, there is a ghetto rich, there's a good and bad everywhere in the world.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Hmm.
Wow, that is crazy that they would think that.
Yeah.
But it's and it's all about like these are the images that they want you to think that this whole world is. And I'm gonna tell you, if I had to live in New York every day, I couldn't make it because I'm so used to country life like
Hmm.
that it's too much for me.
Let me
So,
tell you, like, we see rat in Africa. The biggest rat that I see in my life, it was in New York. Like, he has the size of, let's say, if I say like the size of a cat, that's lying. But the biggest rat that I see, it was in America, like in New York, exactly. But you will
mm.
never see like a rat of this size in Africa. Never. Only here in New York.
So is there anything that you wish people knew or things that people might just assume about Africans? And it may be because they've seen uh, TV shows or commercials on how Africans are portrayed, um, and maybe just feel like people who come are not just coming for the American dream, that they're coming for education or so they might feel like if you are coming for education, it's because there wasn't good education there. So you maybe even treat you as though you are very uneducated when that could not be the case.
Okay. On that one, I may say, I won't blame them if they see that way.
Mm-hmm.
People that I would blame is just the system back home. I would talk about myself. If one of the reasons that I left my country is because the politics system in my country is really suck.
Mm.
I mean, nowadays, since August the 30th of this year's, the system trying to get better because we have like a new president. But I will let you know that for the last 50 years, I know 50 years because my sister, it was only the same family as the presidency, so they really never think or try to fix the country or nothing. That's what make people like trying to go out to look for a better future. I would take an
Wow.
example of myself. That's one of the reasons I left the country too. Because of the system, the SAC system, they didn't try to build like better school themselves. Now when they get sick, I'm talking about the politician, those people with a lot of money. When
Mm-hmm.
they get sick, they don't go to the hospital in my country. They will go to Europe or even come here in America or go to Asia to get health, to get the good health. Why? Because they didn't build like a better structure for us down there. So that's why, like
Wow.
some of African country, you will see them trying to go outside for better health, for better future, more opportunity, good job. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the good dream. Like everybody
Yes,
wanna live good. We
exactly.
wanna live bad. Like everybody, you dream for better things, but it really sucks. The system is sucks. Everything like they do is sucks. But with the new president in my country, I hope since he been there like August the 30th, 2023, stuff changed already. So we just
Good.
and close our finger that it will
Mm-hmm.
just keep going that way.
So we just celebrated Thanksgiving here as a nation. Are there any memorable family traditions that you guys have?
Tradition, I don't know, but in my country, in my home, my
Mm-hmm.
house, my grandma was the oldest of the family and the only girl. Back when we had a big house, like every weekend, it was like a holiday. Everybody will come to the house, bring like a dishes, like house, like every
There any memorable family traditions that you guys have?
tradition. I don't know, but in my country, in my home, my
Mm-hmm.
house, my grandma was the oldest of the family and the only girl. Back when we had a big house, like every weekend, it was like a holiday. Everybody will come to the house, bring like a dishes. Like if you're a stranger at my house on the weekend, you would think like there's a wedding or a party or something. No, that's just
Mm.
something that we do like every weekend. Just like you see Thanksgiving, people will leave from Atlanta, Houston, just to come and visit you for the weekend and have that little party. When I say it was every weekend, it happened every
Wow.
weekend. That's something I really miss here. Yeah, like family
Wow.
get together. Yes, that was every weekend.
So when you guys have this, is that just your family or is that as a culture that's normally something that happens like families are just getting together that often?
Oh, that's just my family getting together.
Oh.
Something. That's just something that they set up. I don't know. It's my mom. Like my mom used to say my mom said that's something they've been doing since, and us growing up, we just keep going, doing just like they do.
I think that's cool.
Hmm.
Are there any special dishes that just remind you of home, make you think about home, make you miss home, or that you cook because it's what reminds you of home here?
I miss food. Let me let you know. I miss food. I miss food back home. Like everything different here. I discovered about like the sweet stuff here, but I miss food back home. But thank God my mom's here now. She bring me like some of the ingredients and stuff, so I'm able to make few of them. So yeah, yeah.
Oh, good. What tell me about one dish in particular? Like what would you need to put in it? I know with Indians they use a lot of spices. Um with the black culture, we frying everything and it's just salt in everything to, make it taste good. So what about your culture? What's like staples that would be like this is true African food?
I really even don't. I don't even know how to call the spice. I mean, the kind of spice we're using in English.
Mm-hmm.
But I can let you know now that we use so much spice. Like as soon as you taste our food, I mean, not to brag. Like as soon as you taste our food, you will say, "Jasmine, can I have another plate?" Not to myself. Yeah. Like if I was able to have like our spice like every day, it would be
You
something
would do it
else.
every day.
Every day.
I
Every
don't
day.
blame you. If that's what makes it delicious, I'm all for it. So, what about are there any popular entertainment? So, also on that show, like Famous Rich in Africa, and they do show some of the guys who are in the entertainment business. They don't do a whole lot of marketing for their business on there. Like they don't show them singing their songs or rapping a whole lot or anything like that. But they do give you some glimpses. Um, but is there any popular entertainment, games, or hobbies that's just like your culture? I can't really say that the USA has a whole lot. There might be different things, just like normal things here that we think they're normal, just movies and um, some people like croquet. That's not my thing, but they do.
Yeah. As
what a,
I would say, on my side, on our side in Gabon, is like a dance. We dance when we're happy. We dance when we're sad. We dance when we
oh,
have death.
hmm,
I mean, even when I say we dance when we have death, it's not a happy dance. It's a side dance, but we dance on everything.
wow,
Hmm.
that is interesting.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to me because dance is a huge part of praise for
Hmm.
the what I would say the black culture is, praise is a symbol of coming out or
Hmm.
um just joy. It like you said, it can mean so many different things while
Hmm.
you're praise dancing. So for me it's like that's very similar that to me.
Hmm. True.
um so let's end on what makes you happy.
What make me happy?
Mm-hmm.
See my family in good health. See them smile. See them. See them every morning. Makes me happy. Health and alive every day makes me happy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I can definitely agree with that. And
Hmm.
I feel like, Jasmine, thank you so much for agreeing to come on the show. A
Hmm.
part of why I thought it was important was not to show how different we are, but to show how similar we are. And it's not just because people view Black people as being African, because we are so much more,
Hmm.
but um, because if you just view somebody from how different you are, that's just the way you'll see them. But if you can find those similarities and things that remind you of yourself, you treat people with more respect
True.
and you value them more. So that was why I thought it was important to bring you on here. And I really appreciate you agreeing and coming on. And it's been a great
Anytime.
conversation.
Anytime. Anytime. Hmm.
Thank you so much. Is there anything that you would like to leave the audience with? Any last thoughts or remarks?
Um, just few things to say like African people, we great people, we
Mm-hmm.
lovely people. We the same. We the
Right.
same. We
Mm-hmm.
love you all. You know, that's it.
All right. Well, thank you, Jasmine, again for coming on the show. I believe that what you've shared with us will definitely help someone from both sides.
Hmm.
From someone who may be thinking about coming to the United States and what they may or may not experience when they get here, how they can handle that. Just, from your experience about communicating and how you give that introduction to make sure that the communication goes well. Good examples like that for someone else to just help them out. I think it will.
Uh-huh.
So thank you again.
My pleasure.
And you guys, until we talk again, I hope you have a great day. Blessings and peace to you and your family.
Yeah.